Good morning. Today is the 13th of April. It's a Tuesday morning. It's a very busy day. Tuesday is traditionally our busiest day of the week. Today we have regular misdemeanor arraignments. We have bench warrant arraignments for people that failed to appear previously. We have order to show cause arraignments for people that didn't appear, and rather than arrest them, we send them to show cause. We have some misdemeanor pretrials, and we have some other pretrials of a man with some mental health problems. We're supposed to finish all of that by 9 o'clock because then we start with our pre-exam conferences on felony cases. We have quite a few of those today. That'll take us up to noon. We have a meeting at lunch, and then we begin in the afternoon at 2:30 with our sobriety court session. So I'm going to turn on the record, and I'm going to start to bring in people for our 8:30 arraignments. We're always willing to start early if people are here early. So let's go. Good morning, Jeanette. Good morning, miss. What's your name?
Tania.
Say that again. What's your name?
Tania Lilibet González Osorio.
Okay. Tanya. Good morning. Buenos dias. We have a conference room available for people that don't have the ability to connect with a phone or laptop here at the courthouse. Although right now the positivity rate in St. Joseph County is an appalling 17%. So we may be about to shut the courthouse down again. It's very disconcerting. I can't tell. Is that Guadalupe or Priscilla? Who's with you? Tanya?
I'm Jasmine Harker.
I just drive her here.
Okay. Yes, I see Jasmine Harker and I see Zachary Houghton.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Houghton. All right. We're going to be starting here in just a moment.
Okay, roger that, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can. We've got Jeanette Jackson from the prosecutor's office, or excuse me, the public defender's office with us, formerly of the prosecutor's office, but she's now...
I still identify that way at times.
Miss. Anyway, she's here on behalf of the public defender.
Okay.
You're here for an arraignment. The arraignment is the process where the judge tells you what you're charged with and asks you how you wish to plead to the charge.
Okay.
You can see how this works as we go through this. Mr. Houghton, let's start with you. Are you Zachary Lloyd Carl Houghton?
Yes, I am, sir.
You got a ticket for having open intoxicants in a motor vehicle under Three River City Ordinance. My old chief assistant used to say that if murder was up here, open intox was at the bottom of the criminal scale, but it is a misdemeanor in Michigan, punishable by up to 90 days in jail and fine of up to $100. Normal fine is $75 plus $125 of cost for a $200 fine. Mr. Houghton, the allegation is that on April 4th, you were in the city of Three Rivers, you had some open beer or alcohol in your car. How do you plead to that charge?
Yeah, I'll take responsibility for it, sir. It was in the what's that, sir?
Anybody promise you anything to get you to plead to this?
No, it was from the night before on Saturday, sir.
What was it?
It was Jack, sir.
All right.
That
was
Jack down.
Yeah. Where are you now?
Fort Campbell, sir. Kentucky, 101st.
Does your CO know about this?
Yeah, all my leadership knows. I'm off a 24-hour shift right now. Yeah, they're well aware. They've been making me pay for it. So, yeah.
All right. Mr. Barnes, the city attorney for Three Rivers, just logged in to join us.
Okay.
I'm waiting for him to go live here. He's got his high school graduation picture up there on the screen.
Sure.
Good morning, Mr. Barnes.
Good morning, sir.
Speaking with Zachary Houghton, he got a ticket in Three Rivers on April 4th for open intoxicants in a motor vehicle. He had an open bottle of Jack Daniels that was unsealed. He says it was in there from the night before. He's an active duty officer presently stationed at Fort Campbell in Kentucky. I don't know anything more about it. Do you have any sense of this?
Yeah, that's the short version.
Is there any offer? He's willing to accept responsibility. I didn't know there was any consideration.
No, I think they gave him some breaks on the charging end of it. So I think that would be a fair thing for him to accept responsibility for.
Yes, sir.
All right. Laura, could I have some general judgments?
General,
No, I'm asking my secretary over the system to bring me some I need some more judgments for this generic ones. All right, Mr. Houghton, I asked you if anybody promised you anything or threatened you to get you to plead to this charge. How did you happen to be in Three Rivers on April 4th?
We had Donza a long weekend, and I was able to come up for Easter.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from Marcellus, but my Roberts Road.
Okay.
You don't have any,
I don't have a model. I think I used my last one.
okay.
All right. Marcellus, Roberts Road isn't in Marcellus, but that's a Fabius Township.
Oh, I grew up with my grandparents in Valenia, outside of Marcellus.
Okay, I know where that
Marcellus
is.
Highway. Okay, yeah, I grew up there, and Marcellus is where I graduated from. But my mom had married Mark Roberts, and she lives out there on Roberts Road.
Okay,
Three Rivers.
got it. You have $75 fine, $75 crime victims' rights fee, and a $50 state minimum fee. That's $200 or 3 days in jail. You're not going to do 3 days in jail for this. Can you pay that fine by 30 days from today, which would be May 14th?
Could we put May 15th? I get paid the 1st and the 15th.
I'll give you to June 15th.
Appreciate that.
Now,
sir.
this is going to go to the Roberts Road address.
Okay.
You can pay by credit card,
Okay.
green cash, certified check or money order, Bitcoin, I don't know, anyway, whatever it takes to get it paid.
Okay.
All right, you've been up all night. This is a dumb thing, a minor
That's fine.
charge. The city says you already got some breaks, so they weren't willing to give any more. You accept responsibility, plead guilty, I'll accept your plea. You owe $200 within 60 days, and then this matter's over and done with. You're good
Appreciate
to
it.
go, sir.
Thanks,
All
sir.
right. Go get some
You have a good day.
sleep.
Yes, sir.
Thank-
Bye.
All right, we got a couple more customers to bring in. Sarah Eichhoff Wells. Ms. Wells, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Do you have the ability to do video?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Stay right where you are.
Okay.
And then we've got Carla Garatig. You're here as part of an already existing Zoom group for 3B District Court. We're going to be doing some other cases, so stay right where you are. I've got Carla Garateg, but I'm not sure who that is. Which case are you here on, ma'am? Carla? I think it might be Miss Arnold. All right, Tanya, can you hear me?
No English?
I understand. Vivian Montero, our interpreter, has joined us.
Dice que el intérprete está aquí con nosotros ahora.
Good morning, Vivian.
Good morning.
Would you raise your right hand, please?
Yes,
Do you swear or affirm to the best of your ability you will interpret these matters from English into Spanish and Spanish into English?
I do.
Senora Tanya Elizabeth Gonzalez Osorio is here.
Está la señora Tania Elizabeth González Osorio. Se encuentra aquí.
She got a ticket in White Pigeon on April 6th.
Ella recibió una multa en White Pigeon el 6 de abril
For driving with a suspended license
por manejar con la licencia suspendida.
No, nunca he tenido licencia.
No,
And
I've never had a license.
Yes, I understand.
Sí, entiendo.
And you also got a ticket for failing to yield.
Y también recibió una multa por no ceder el paso.
This happened in the village of White Pigeon.
Eso ocurrió en el pueblo de White Pigeon.
The White Pigeon village attorney is a man named Mr. Andrew Rognes.
El fiscal de White Pigeon
No, no.
es un hombre que se llama Ed Ramos.
He has reviewed this file
Él ha repasado este expediente.
He has offered to dismiss a failing to yield ticket
Él está dispuesto a desestimar la multa donde usted no se dio el paso.
that will save you $120.
Eso le va a ahorrar $120.
Okay.
He also agreed to reduce the driving charge
También está de acuerdo con reducir el cargo de manejar sin tener licencia
to a different charge
a otro cargo
called allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code.
que es permitir a otra persona manejar su vehículo y así cometiendo una infracción del Código de Vehículos.
What you are charged with is called driving without ever having a license.
El cargo original es manejar sin jamás haber tenido una licencia.
That carries 2 points,
Eso conlleva puntos
and it goes on your driving record.
y entonces estará en su registro de manejo.
The charge that he's offered carries no points,
El cargo reducido que está ofreciendo el fiscal no conlleva puntos
it carries a fine of up to $100
y tiene una multa de hasta $100
plus costs
más honorarios de corte
and up to 90 days in jail.
y penalidad máxima hasta 90 días de cárcel.
Normal fine and cost for this is about $225.
Normalmente la multa y honorarios de corte son $225.
Are you willing to plead guilty to that lesser charge of
¿Usted
allowing someone to violate the motor vehicle code?
está dispuesta a declararse culpable al cargo reducido de dejar a alguien manejar el vehículo cometiendo una infracción en el Código de Vehículos?
Sí.
Yes.
Did anyone threaten you to get you to plead to this charge?
¿Alguien le amenazó para que usted se declara culpable del cargo?
No,
Or
No.
promise you anything?
¿O le prometieron algo?
no,
Do you understand that by pleading to this charge, and this applies to all of you that are here, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury. There will be no trial. Do you understand that?
Usted entiende, al declararse culpable aquí, usted renuncia al derecho de llevar el caso a juicio. Juicio delante de un juez o delante de un jurado. ¿Entiende usted eso?
If you had a trial, you'd have the right to have an attorney to assist you.
Si usted llevara el caso a juicio, tendría un abogado que le ayudara.
If you could not afford one, I would appoint one for you.
Si no puede darse el lujo de contratar un abogado, la corte puede asignarle uno.
If you had a trial, you would have the right to take the witness stand and testify.
Si tuviera un juicio, tendría el derecho de dar testimonio sobre el caso.
But you don't have to because you have a right not to testify.
Pero no tiene que hacerlo porque tiene el derecho de no dar testimonio.
If you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury could not hold your silence against you.
Si no desea dar su testimonio, el juez o el jurado no puede usar su silencio en su contra.
And finally, you'd have a right to be presumed innocent if and until the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
Y, finalmente, en un juicio, usted tiene derecho a la presunción de inocencia hasta que el Ministerio Público puede comprobar su culpabilidad más allá de una duda razonable.
Vivian, let's suspend things for a moment. Sir, you're logged in as Carla Garateg. What's your name?
Permíteme,
David.
señora.
Yeah, what's your name, sir?
David said,
Let's pretend we're in court. Stop eating and drinking coffee while we're in a courtroom.
Sorry, Your Honor.
This with a little more respect. You're wiggling all over the place. You got a window behind you. There's hundreds of people watching this proceeding, and
I'm
you're
sorry, Your Honor.
eating a cracker and drinking your coffee. So let's pretend this is a court proceeding and you're a part of it. So sit
Okay, Your
still,
Honor.
and put your coffee down, and stop eating while we finish these next few cases.
Okay, Your Honor.
All right. Tanya, were you driving a car in White Pigeon on April 6th?
Señora Tania, ¿estaba manejando un auto en White Pigeon el 6 de abril?
sí,
Yes.
Do you have a license?
¿Tiene usted una licencia?
no,
No.
Where were you going?
¿A dónde iba?
a mi casa,
Home.
From where?
¿De dónde?
de Constantine,
From Constantine.
What were you doing in Constantine?
¿Qué es lo que hacía en Constantine?
fui a ver a mi cuñada,
I went to see my sister-in-law.
Whose car were you driving?
El auto de quién manejaba usted?
de mi esposo,
My husband.
o Michael, mi cuñado,
Or Michael, my brother-in-law.
How long have you been here in Michigan?
¿Cuánto tiempo lleva viviendo en Michigan?
3 meses,
3 months.
I can't help fix this.
No puedo ayudarme a cambiar esto.
Where are you from?
¿De dónde es usted?
de México,
From Mexico.
Which state?
Estado.
¿perdón?
¿Cuál estado?
No, el Estado de México,
The state of Mexico.
All right, that's Mexico City.
La Ciudad de México.
no, Toluca, la capital,
Do
No,
you have a
Toluca,
driver's
the
license?
capital.
Do you have a driver's license there?
¿Tiene usted una licencia vigente allí en Toluca?
Oh, ya está vencida.
It's expired.
Well, you can't drive here without a license.
Bueno, usted no puede manejar aquí sin una licencia.
And you can't get a Michigan license unless you have lawful residency status.
Y no puede tener una licencia del estado de Michigan a menos que sea residente permanente.
When I run for president, I'll try to fix that.
Cuando tengo mi campaña electoral para ser presidente, voy a tratar de arreglar eso.
But right now, there's nothing I can do about it.
Pero por el momento no hay nada que puedo hacer al respecto.
You can't drive, do you understand?
Usted no puede manejar. ¿Entiende usted eso?
Okay, sí.
All right, yes.
Or you have a $100 fine, $75 crime victims' rights fee,
Multa de $100 más $75 en cuota para víctimas de delitos
and a state minimum fee of $50.
y un mínimo estatal de $50.
That's $225.
Es un total de $225.
The failure to yield charge is dismissed.
El cargo de no ceder el paso será desestimado.
Can you pay that fine in 30 days?
¿Puede pagar esa cantidad en 30 días?
Sí,
Yes.
Or are you still living on Peck Avenue?
¿Sigue viviendo sobre la Peck Avenida?
sí.
Yes.
All right, that fine is due by May 14th for 3 days in jail.
Se tiene que pagar esa multa o ese monto a más tardar 14 de mayo o pasará 3 días de cárcel.
Okay.
A ver.
All right, you're free to go, ma'am.
Ya se puede retirar, señora.
Gracias.
Thank you.
You can pay it right now if you have the money. You can go down to the counter and pay it and save a trip.
Si tiene el dinero ahora mismo encima, lo puede pagar en la ventanilla o la
Oh,
oficina y así
So-
ahorrándose un viaje.
Okay, gracias.
Take care.
All right, thank you. Anything else for the interpreter, Your Honor?
I don't know yet. Give me just a moment, Vivian. I forgot to do
Certainly.
something.
Certainly.
I didn't understand the guy that was eating. The person that's logged in is Carla. What's your name again?
David R. Kidd. I'm using my wife's phone, Your Honor.
Okay, that's fine. This is David Ronald Kidd, file 201376. It does not appear we have any other business for you, Vivian. Thank you.
You're welcome, Your Honor. Have a good day.
I'm going to bring in several more people here. Thank you. What?
Gonzalez.
Oh, she wants to pay now.
Good, thank you.
All right, we brought in Joseph Perkovich, Kimberly
Yes, sir.
Patterson, and a phone number. I don't know who the phone number is. Who's on the phone? 269-568. Who's that person?
This is Robert Kovac.
All right, Mr. Kovac, let me give you a name here.
I tried videoing, but my video won't work on my phone.
All right, we'll do the best we can. All right, we were talking with David Ronald Kidd. File number is 201376. Mr. Kidd, you're here on an order to show cause because you missed a previous court date. You're charged with violation of a restricted license, which is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $100. Because you missed a date, I think we've actually got $300 of bond in here. Let me look. Oh, you also got a felony pre-exam at 9. Yes. The allegation, $30.50. I'm not sure what that's about. The allegation is that you were driving in violation of your restrictions in the county on November 10th. Normal fine for that is $200. You've got $300 of bond. It's more than enough to pay it. How do you plead to that charge?
Well, Your Honor, if I could prove that I had a valid driver's license at the time, would it all go away?
Well, it could. You've got an attorney on your felony charge, which is coming up at 9. So I'll put you in the waiting room and we'll come back to your case. Let me
Okay,
give you
Your
a proper name here. Was that a Michigan license?
No, sir, it's Indiana. I'm already a resident of Michigan. I just gotta get my Michigan license yet.
All right, well, let me put you in the waiting room. We'll come back to you. All right, Ms. Harker, I think, was actually the very first person to log in. We'll come back to Mr. Kidd. Jasmine Harker, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
This is a Three Rivers City ticket. You got a charge of failing to yield and no operator's license, much as the young Mexican girl we just had. It's alleged to have occurred on April 5th. Mr. John Barnes, the city attorney, is here. Mr. Barnes, is there an offer in this case?
What's the defendant's name, Your Honor?
Jasmine Harker.
I don't have any paperwork on that case this morning. Apparently, it's recent enough that I just haven't got it yet.
Well, she got what Andy did, he dismissed the failure to yield for a plea to no ops. Let's see what we got here.
What's the charge again, Your Honor?
Driving without a valid operator's license and failing to yield.
Presumably there was an accident.
Caused accident while unlicensed is what it says on the ticket.
Yeah. Is there any way to know from her record whether she's had any previous driving suspended, or for how long, or for what reason she's suspended?
I haven't had any, sir. I haven't had my license
She's
yet.
just
I'm
like
waiting
the other
on the
ladies.
DMV.
Her license is completely clean. No, she just doesn't have one.
Okay, I guess in this case, I'd reduce the driving suspended to a 257.326, but I would expect her to accept responsibility for the fail to yield.
It's an interesting charge, Ms. Harker. You're charged with driving without a license because you don't have one and you were supposed to be driving and then you were in an accident. He's willing to dismiss the charge of driving without a license. That's a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $100. It carries 2 points. He's willing to offer the same charge that the young girl pled to a few minutes ago, which is called allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code. That one carries no points, and it doesn't get abstracted to your license, so that's a good thing. The fine for that is $200. Failing to yield is a civil infraction. It's punishable by a fine only, and it's a $120 fine, and I do believe it carries 2 points. So he's willing to dismiss the no license for a plea to allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code and failing to yield. What's your response to that?
I take full responsibility and I agree to that.
All right. You seem like a nice girl. Did anyone threaten you to get you to plead to this?
No, sir.
Or promise you anything?
No, sir.
All right. You heard me go through the rights, and you already told me you didn't have a license. Where were you going?
I was actually on my way to pick up my prescriptions after I had picked up my younger siblings. My mother is a single mom of 4, and I babysit for her. She works third and I work second, and I really needed my medication as I hadn't had it for about a month.
You live on Portage Avenue?
No, I recently just got my own apartment. I have the address right here.
All right. Is the 230 Portage your mom's address?
Yes, it is.
All right. We'll just use that one. All right. That's $200. How old are you, ma'am?
I'm 19, turning 20 this year, sir.
Well, okay. You say that kind of thing when you're young. When you're old, you don't say, I'm 75, turning 76. But when you're 19, 20 seems pretty good. I'm not 75. Anyway, that's $200, and you got till May. I'm going to give you till June 15th to pay that. What happened? You failed to, June 15th or 2 days, you failed to stop at a stop sign. There was an accident?
Yes, it looked like they were going to turn, but then they changed their mind last minute and continued to go straight, and I ran into them. I didn't hit my brakes in time.
Well, some of it may be because you didn't go through the whole driver's ed process, but you can't drive anymore till you get a license. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, the fine for that is $120, and that's due by May 15th. Now, that's a lot for a young girl that doesn't have a lot of money. I want you to pay the traffic ticket first within 30 days.
I already paid that, sir.
Okay. All right, then you owe $200 by June 15th. The misdemeanor, allowing another won't jam you up, but I'm afraid that the accident one might. But I want you to start the process to get your license, all right?
Yes, sir. I been waiting.
I lost you, Jasmine. I lost your signal, but you're good to go. Thank you. All right, Miss Eichhoff Wells, let's talk to you. You were in the driver's seat, now you're in the passenger seat. I want
Just hiding out in my vehicle, so it was quiet.
All right, I want you to pull the vehicle over. I don't want to talk to you while this vehicle is moving, so we'll come back to you in a minute. I'm sorry this was inconvenient. I could make you come over to the courthouse and sit on a hardwood bench like we used to in the old days.
Yeah. We're pulling over.
All right. Ms. Harker, did you have a question? I let you go. I didn't know if there's something else you wanted to tell me.
I was wondering how I would pay that, like what I would
we'll
have
send it to your mom's address. Send it certified check or money order, or you can bring in green cash, or you can pay it by credit card. We'll send you the slip to pay it. Okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry I cut you off before you were finished. All right, let's talk to Sarah Eichhoff Wells, who's in a moving car, but now she's stopped. This is file 21611ST. You're charged with operating with no license. That's, as you can tell, a very common offense. We've had a number of these today. Let's take a look at your ticket. I was disappointed when I saw you sitting in the driver's seat, which is a very common phenomenon these days. People haven't got enough sense to not call in the court while sitting on the driver's side, but once the vehicle's moving, you're not driving it. Oops, that's Miss Harker. Wyckoff Wells. There it is. Your ticket was given at about 10 o'clock at night on Millard and Roberts Road. The police sit out there by the landfill and write lots of tickets. And you got a ticket for driving without a valid license. No ops, it's sometimes called. Let's take a look at your driving record. You don't have a license. You're kind of in the same boat as the other ladies. It's a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $100. Normal fine is $200. How do you plead to that charge?
Guilty.
Where were you going?
I was actually driving home. My mom had a brain aneurysm that week, and she couldn't drive or anything, so I went to go get her some new pillows and groceries and stuff.
How come you never got a license?
Well, I moved back to Michigan a couple of years ago, and I didn't have an ID or social security card or anything to go get one. I'm just obtaining.
Did you have a license in another state?
I did in North Carolina, yes.
What state?
North Carolina.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from Michigan.
Where were you born?
Here.
Well, you can go get your birth certificate here at the courthouse without too much trouble.
Yeah, I've gotten that, and I've gotten an ID now, but I just need a social security card.
All right. How old are you?
I am 30.
And you don't have a social security card?
I did, but unfortunately, due to circumstances in the past, I had an accident without my stuff.
Do you have a social security number?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm not obviously going to order any jail here. $75 fine, $75 crime victims' rights fees, $50 state minimum fee, $200 for 3 days, and you don't want to do 3 days in jail for this, by May 15th. Now, if you need more time, just contact the court. The goal is to get the fine paid, not to put you in jail. This will go on your driving record, and it might affect your ability to get a license for a while. But don't drive anymore, and you should be all right.
Alrighty.
Same thing, you send it in. Now, I show that you live at Woodland Street in Marcellus, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. We'll send the information to send in the fine. All right, you're good to go. You can go back on your journey there, but I don't like to talk to people while they're moving. All right, you're good to go. Let's bring in Luke and Carol. All right, I got a couple other people here. We got Joseph Kirkowicz, Robert Kovac, Kimberly Patterson.
We have another one for you in the room.
All right, who is it? Somebody or other?
Bevins, I think.
Oh, Bivens, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I brought a few more people in here. Miss Patterson, what case are you here for?
It says I was I didn't have my license on me.
Are you Kim Arnold?
No.
Patterson, I don't have you on my list. I know Kim Arnold.
Your Honor, Kim Patterson's one of my cases.
All right, well, hold on.
It was a no operator's license ticket from March 31st.
All right. Well, we'll get to it in a minute, but for reasons I don't understand, it isn't on my list. Darn it. Well, all right, we'll come to it here in a moment. Mr. Hauser, which case are you here on?
Good morning, Your Honor. Here for Mr. McNutt.
For who?
Mr. McNutt, the state of Michigan versus Quentin McNutt.
All right, well, he's not here yet, so stick around. That's a pre-exam conference. We're going to start those at 9, hopefully, if we can finish what we got here. So stay right where you are. I'll just mute your mic. Joseph Lee Kirkowicz, another Marcellus resident with a no license and no proof of insurance. You got a ticket under county law for driving without a valid license and no proof of insurance on February 24th. Deborah, do you have, Jeanette, do you have any offer in that case?
No, Your Honor.
Well, Debbie was going to join us. We'll have to invite her.
Sir, I spoke with the prosecutor the first time, and at that time he didn't have my paperwork. He said we were going to continue to work something out, but we just haven't gotten to that point yet.
All right, well, let's see if we can get her here.
Sure. I forget the gentleman's name.
Probably Casey Johnson, but I think we'll see if we can get Ms. Davis to help us. All right, Ms. Bivens, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
This is Judge Middleton. I'm here just down the hall. You're in the conference room. Are you Nicole Elizabeth Bivens?
Yes, I am.
You got a ticket or charged on a complaint, 3-count complaint alleging cruelty to animals in the city of Three Rivers. Let me pull this up. Darn it. The complaint says that on or about January 19th, you did abandon an animal or fail to provide adequate care, 3 counts. Those are misdemeanors, punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500 and community service. It has to do with some dogs in poor condition on North Grant Avenue. How do you plead to that charge?
Guilty.
All right, did anyone promise you anything to get you to plead to this?
No.
Or promise you anything?
No.
You understand that by pleading to this charge, you'll be giving up your rights to have a trial in front of a judge or a jury. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you had a trial, you'd have the right to take the witness stand. And Ms. Patterson, would you put your cigarette out? Just like the guy that was eating crackers and drinking coffee. We're in a court proceeding, so we try to have a minimum amount of decorum, but we're struggling with that. All right, Ms. Bivens, do you understand that if you had a trial on this matter, you would have a right to take the witness stand and testify on your own behalf? but you don't have to because you have a right not to testify. And if you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury cannot hold your silence against you. Do you understand?
Yes.
You have a right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court so they can be questioned under oath. And you would have the right to be presumed innocent if and until the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand?
Yes.
Tell me what happened.
I didn't realize my dog got out till the next day. And then when my neighbors across the street told me that the cops took him, I was having trouble feeding myself. So I just, didn't think anything else of it because I knew he was in good hands at that point.
Had you left home?
Yes, I was going to give my dog to my brother, and I was going to, because he lives on a farm. And I went there to make sure my brother could take him, and I didn't get home till the following day. I didn't know the cops had even come over until, like I said, my neighbors across the street and my ex-wife, they called her, I guess, instead of me.
Karen's your ex?
Yes,
Was she gone too?
yes. She lives in Jackson right now.
Well, this poor dog was in really bad shape. Karen Bivens, it's a long story. My great aunt was a Bivens, and I tried to determine whether we were related, and we aren't. So I wasn't related to Karen, so I'm not related to you either, so that's not a concern. All right, I'm gonna need more information. This dog was really in bad shape. I'm not sure if it died or not. I can't tell. I didn't see how the story ended. I'll accept your plea. We'll see if the prosecutor will agree to do one count. Are you still at the North Grant address?
Yes.
What's your occupation?
I just got a job at Taco Bell.
Well, that's good. That's within walking distance.
Yes.
Deborah Davis has joined us from the prosecutor's office. Ms. Davis, this is Nicole Bivens. She drove over to the courthouse. She pled to animal cruelty. There are 3 counts. I'm assuming the prosecutor would accept a plea to one of the 3 counts.
Let me take a look. I have not dealt with that case. It's probably something Casey dealt with, so I don't have any background on it. One moment.
I'm gonna set for sentence because I'm gonna want more information.
Sure.
Casey seems to be the go-to guy on animal cruelty cases, which unfortunately we've had several of these lately.
Let me check here. I'm sorry, you said the last name was Bivens. Can you spell that for me?
Yes, Bivins.
The offer was to 2 counts.
All right. We'll accept that and dismiss 1 count. Miss Bivens, I want to know more about you. It sounds like you were in dire straits yourself, but you visited your misery on this poor dog. And I'm going to get the police report and pictures. I'm going to set this for sentence for May 19th at 11. You can come to the courthouse again like this unless we're completely shut down. But I want to know more about what's going on with you. I want to know more about what happened to this, what happened to the dog. You did post a surety bond of $500. So the matter is set for sentencing for May 19th. You're still at the North Grand Avenue address. That will be at 11 a.m. Either come to the courthouse or come in virtually. We'll send you the information. But you're free to go.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Just a minute. Marcus Taylor's in the wrong court.
Your Honor, I did call out to the jail and speak with Sergeant Lori about getting the customers that are ready to go for 9 o'clock. I wasn't sure how far into your arraignments you are.
Well, I need some help from you and then we'll be all right. All right, now we've got Mr. Kirkowicz here. He had a pretrial. He's done some things to get his license straightened out, and he needs to talk to a prosecutor in a breakout room regarding a plea offer. Can I put you in there with him?
Yeah, that's fine. Casey's doing PTCs this morning.
Well, do you want me to wait for Casey?
Mm-hmm. But he is in with Matt, so it would require the defendant to sign
Mr.
it.
Kirkowicz, I'll have him wait till Casey's available, so just wait a minute. All right, now we've got Kimberly Arnold, who's Mr. Barnes's case, and for reasons I don't understand, she's not in my queue or on my list, so let me see if I can find the case.
I'll send Casey an email to see if he's available.
Or even if you can just, well, Mr. Kirkowicz wanted to discuss it. I think he's done some things since his last session. Yes, let me see. Darn it. All right, Ms. Patterson, let me find your file. We got to kind of go on a scavenger on here.
I have a ticket number if that would help, Your Honor.
Well, I think it's 201606 and 607. I think I found it. But it isn't in my queue, and I don't know what the deal is. Let's take a look. It's set for well, that one's done. Wow, I don't have a 21 case.
Did
Did you find it, Jeanette?
I have one more to look at, but not yet. The first three were all closed, and then there's
Yes.
18.
There's 18, 19, and 220s. They're all closed. I don't have
Yeah,
anything.
that's all I found.
Your Honor,
Ms.
I have
Patterson,
Yes.
what do you have in front of you to tell you to come to court today?
It was just a ticket.
Mr. Barnes, what do you have?
I have a ticket with an appearance date of today at 8:15.
Well, you got it and she got it, but we didn't get it.
Is it under another name, perhaps? Does she go by another name?
Kimberly Stem.
Well, that's why.
What's STEM?
Yeah, it's my maiden name.
Just a second.
She has a traffic ticket that doesn't require her to come to court, but they did put a court date on the ticket. She just has to pay the fine.
All right, well, what's her name?
It's Kimberly Patterson
It doesn't show up in on base.
because it's a traffic case. So it doesn't go into on base.
Oh,
So it's in JMS. It's a no operator's license in possession, or no, yeah, she didn't have it in possession.
well, that's a misdemeanor.
It is, but it stays in traffic, so she just has to pay the fine. That doesn't require a court date.
What?
All right, now, I don't know, they wrote it screwy. It's a no ops in possession, which is a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $100. That means you didn't have the little slip in your car, you didn't have your license in your pocket. That's a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $100, but it carries no points. I don't know, the clerk tried to explain it to me, but it is a misdemeanor, and I'm not sure why it doesn't require a court date, but Mr. Barnes, do you have any offer on this?
No, Your Honor. The officer gave her a huge break. She had a verbal warning for expired license, no registration, no insurance, and she had a switchblade in the car. They also had needles and meth.
That was the person that was with me.
All right, it's a $75 fine and a $125 cost. How do you plead to that charge?
Guilty.
All right. Anybody threaten you to get you to plead to that?
No.
Or promise you anything?
No.
Where were you going?
I was just leaving. I was told to pick up somebody, so I picked him up.
All right.
Next thing I know, they were ripping me out of the truck.
Well, all right. I'm glad it didn't get worse than that. What's the ticket number, John?
Ticket number is 221100908.
All right. You owe that $200 by May 15th. Can you pay it by then?
Yes.
All right, you're good to go. Thank you for waiting. Sorry about the confusion.
Thank you.
In fact, I'm still confused, but I think we did what we needed to do. All right, everybody stay right where you are. I've got about 1,000 people in the waiting room.
John? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm still confused as the judge is. Was that ticket written under Kimberly Patterson, or was it a different last name?
The name on the ticket was Kimberly Ann Patterson, Patterson. Apparently she goes by a different name.
That's what I thought. She said a different name, and that's where I was confused. Thought maybe it was under a different name or something.
No, the ticket's under Patterson. I don't know where the other name came from.
Okay. I was just trying to solve the mystery in my head here.
All right, now let's talk about all the other things we have before I open up the floodgates for our 9 o'clock cases. We had our orders to show cause, and I think those people are here. At Arraignments, Marcus Taylor is around somewhere. He logged into the wrong room, I think. Mr. McNutt is in our room, so we'll deal with him in a moment. So that takes care of the arraignments.
Your Honor, there's Robert Kovacs Jr., which is an arraignment for possession of drug paraphernalia, and I see him wandering in and out of the court, the Zoom thing here. I think he's been on for 45 minutes or so.
Yeah, he's in the waiting room. Mr. Kovac is here. Mr. Kovac?
Yes.
You got a ticket in Three Rivers for possession of drug paraphernalia. There's no state law against that, but there is a misdemeanor ordinance. which makes it a misdemeanor in the city of Three Rivers, punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $100. Normal fine is $75 plus state costs of $125 for a total of $200. How do you plead to that charge?
I plead guilty.
Anybody promise you anything to get you to plead to that?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you were present when I went through the advice of rights. Mr. Barnes, what did he have?
He had needle that tested positive for meth, and then he had a verbal warning for no insurance, defective equipment, no registration, no cycle endorsement.
Well, they gave you a break there, a pretty good one. Mr. Kovac, you can't drive and you can't carry meth needles around in the city of Three Rivers. $75 fine, $75 crime victims' rights fee, $50 state minimum fee. $200 by May 15th or 3 days in jail. And again, the goal is not to put you in jail. The goal is to get the fine paid. Do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you're free to go.
Thank you.
The only other thing I have scheduled with you, Your Honor, is Tyrone Valentine, and I don't know whether that should be with you or with Matt.
Well, it's with me. Let's discuss it. We set all those last pretrials for this morning. It's my understanding that through your great efforts, the effort of Lisa Antonelli at the jail, Covered Bridge, where they found a placement for Mr. Valentine, and he is in a, here's Paul Gibson, he wants in on Valentine. Mr. Gibson is here with Lassie, and we're ready to discuss that. Mr. Gibson was with us last week when we had the very difficult case with Mr. Valentine. We set everything for last pretrial this morning in all these cases: 20-2172, 20-2188, 20-2420, 20-2455, 20-2524, 21-496, 21-545, 21-628, and 21-728, and 21-729. Mr. Valentine was getting about a citation a day in the city of Three Rivers for trespassing or disorderly person or other minor misdemeanors. Mr. Barnes, it's my understanding that he's been placed in a residential treatment facility from Community Mental Health. And you were discussing possibly dismissing all this if they found an appropriate placement for him.
Yes, what I would move to do is adjourn all these cases, and if they can find an appropriate placement for him, I would be willing to dismiss these cases without prejudice, Your Honor. We've always felt that he needed treatment rather than mental treatment rather than criminal treatment. But the problem was there was just no peace in the community because he was just out at large and can't deal with that. So if he can get treated and the problem solved, then I'm willing to dismiss these things without prejudice. So I would ask that we adjourn on all these cases and see how the treatment goes.
All right, how about if we go till June 4th at 9 a.m., attorney pretrial date?
June 4th at 9 a.m.
Does that work for you, Mr. Gibson?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Mr. Valentine isn't here. He was very disoriented, I guess we'll use that word. But we all agree he needs mental health treatment rather than jail, but he keeps getting cited and he keeps not appearing for court. He only happened to get arrested and we had to hold on to him until we got some help for him. So, all right, we'll continue all these to the June 4th at 9 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Barnes, you're good to go.
Thanks.
All right.
Your
Now,
Honor?
yes?
What happened to Joseph Kirkowicz?
Mr. Kirkowicz is here and he's waiting to talk to Casey Johnson, who just walked in.
Okay. I missed it somehow. I was waiting and
Well, I saw Casey in the queue.
okay, then am I done then this morning with you?
Yes, we're about to
Casey,
open.
Casey emailed and said he was just wrapping up with his last one. He'd be there in a few minutes, and that was about 5 minutes ago, so he should be here any second.
Did log in and then I lost it. All right, Mr. Kirkowicz, hang with us, okay? All right, I'm about to bring in a bunch of people. So, let's see how we do here. Let's bring in the weird ones, weird names first. Let's figure out who they are. This guy's here from the prison. What's your name, sir?
Chris Rosner.
All right, Mr. Rosner. Good morning. What facility are you in?
St. Louis.
I've been there. As prisons go, that one didn't seem too bad. Of course, I got to walk out.
Yeah.
All right, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Oh, darn it. Wait a minute. All right, Mr. Rosner, just stay where we are for a moment. We've got some other people to bring in. It's kind of a struggle here.
Okay.
Mr. Hauser, thanks for hanging in with us here. Your client will be brought in a moment. Good morning, Mr. iPhone. What's your name?
Marcus Taylor.
All right, Mr. Taylor, would you take your hoodie off? I'll be with you here in a moment. All right, now we've got Luke Knopfinger, we've got Kurt Richardson. Your hoodie off. All right, I'm gonna bring everybody in.
Yeah. Here we go.
Good morning, everyone. I brought everybody back in here. We've got a few more cases to deal with before we're ready to do everything we need to do. But I wanted you to know that I haven't forgotten about you, that I'm going to deal with several people. Mr. Hauser, do you need to talk to Mr. McNutt?
Let me know, please.
I am sorry, Your Honor.
Do you need to speak to your client?
Yes, please, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. McNutt, I'm going to put you in a breakout room so you can talk to your attorney here for a few moments, all right?
All right.
Thank you.
All right, we have multiple things going on here this morning. We have pre-exam conferences, arraignments, we have bench arraignments, we have orders to show cause, and I'm running the whole thing from the bench. It's like riding a bicycle, directing an orchestra, and dribbling a basketball at the same time. So all of you just be patient. Mr. Taylor, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I have to arraign you on a charge of possession of methamphetamine and driving suspended second offense. That's in file 2022864. It's alleged that on or about last November 5th, that you did those things here in St. Joseph County. The methamphetamine charge is a felony. It's punishable by up to 10 years in prison and a fine of up to $15,000. Because it is a felony, I don't have jurisdiction to take your plea. I'm going to set it for what's called a pre-exam conference and a preliminary examination. All right. I'm going to show you're pleading not guilty. You posted a $5,000 surety bond. I'm going to appoint attorney Tim George. I'm going to set pre-exam conference for April 27th at 9 a.m. and a prelim for May 4th, 21 at 1 p.m. Are you still at the US 12 address?
No, I live 308 South Monroe Street.
Ready? All right. I think that's all you had today.
You're the only one that's running around.
Sorry that I was late. I called Stutzman's courtroom on accident.
Yeah, he emailed me and I gave him the correct number to have you call in. So
okay, thank you.
I appreciate your diligence. Now, he also has a .2864. That's this case. I don't understand. Says arraignment on a bench warrant. Yeah, you got arrested for not showing up. I'm not sure what's going on, but I've set it for a pre-exam conference for May 27th. I want you to contact Mr. George and make an appointment to discuss this with him prior to that time. You're good to go.
I'm good to go?
Yes.
All right, you have a good day.
All right. Now, I have a couple more leftover misdemeanors to deal with. Mr. Kirkowicz, we're still waiting for Casey Johnson. Mr. Schuler, would you hold still?
Hey, I'm here.
Yeah, okay.
Your Honor, Prosecutor Marvin is trying to get in.
Yes, I'm gonna let him in. He might as well join in on this. All right, now I have Mr. Bondarovich.
Yes.
And I have another lady. Miss Vanessa Elmore Garcia. Let me do Mr. Bondarovich first. Are you Keith Bondarovich?
Yes, I am.
This is file 21506. Let me look at my email from Mr. Puff. Mr. Bondarovich is allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code. Mr. Bondarovich, you're charged with driving suspended. The prosecutor has agreed to dismiss that to a charge called allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code. That carries no points, doesn't get abstracted to your license, and won't affect your ability to keep or maintain your license. This is a Centerville ordinance case. Mr. Knopfsinger has made that offer. Are you going to plead to that lesser charge of allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code?
Yes, I am.
Your Honor, as well, the impeding traffic will be dismissed.
All right. Thank you, Luke. Where were you going, sir?
I just left my friend's house after dropping her laundry off. I was heading home with the kids.
And you don't have a valid license?
I didn't at the time. I've since paid off the tickets, and last I checked, it was valid.
Very good. $100 fine, $75 crime victims' rights fee, $50 state minimum, $225 or 3 days in jail, which we aren't really going to do, but that's what it used to be. Payment is due by May 14th. Can you pay it by then?
I can pay it today.
Oh, very
Dead
good.
chicken.
Mr. Schuler, you might want to mute your microphone.
Mr. Schuler, for just a minute. For one thing, you're driving, you're talking about robot chickens, and you need to just pull over somewhere.
Okay. I was actually on my way to work, sir. I apologize.
All right, Mr. Bondarovich, you're good to go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss Albor Garcia, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
I met you before. I'm Judge Middleton. They're going to dismiss this charge of no operator's license, and you're going to admit to the civil infraction of impeding traffic.
Yeah,
Is that true?
correct.
That carries no points, and it doesn't affect your ability to keep or maintain your license. So that's a good deal. They're also dismiss the no ops. That is a $105 fine. It's due by May 14th. Can you pay it by then?
Yes, I can.
All right. I hope your license is straightened out, and you should be good to go. All right. Thank you. I'm going to remove you from the queue here if I can find you. All right. I think everybody that's left is a felony, except Mr. Kirkowicz, because we're still waiting for Casey Johnson. Phew. Okay. William Scott is set for something. He's not here. Luke, have you had a chance to talk to Mr. Rosner?
Yeah, I have, and I'm a little surprised he was able to appear today. If I could go in a breakout room, because I think today was adjourned to next week. But if I could talk to him for a bit.
All right, just a moment. I've got a couple people in there right now. Deborah, do you know what happened to Casey? He logged in and then he logged out, and then I didn't see him again.
I don't. I will email him or text him real quick.
All right, the rest of you are all here for pre-exam conferences. We have a lot of them this morning. And I don't have any, I used to get a little chart on what was going to happen, but for some reason I don't do that anymore, so I don't have any idea what's going on with our cases today. So I've got all the lawyers here, which is a good sign. And
Your Honor, I sent you an email around 8:30 with the status of all of the ones that we had status on.
I was in here by then. Let's see here.
I called the jail to arrange for the ones that are waivers on the record and pleas, so that they should be ready to go.
All right, I'm a little behind the 8 ball. I've been in here since about 10 to 8, but let me first start out with Mr. Richardson.
Good morning, Your Honor. I haven't had an opportunity to speak with the prosecutor yet.
All right. I'm going to close that other breakout room and start over again. Here is Casey Johnson. Hallelujah. I'm going to try to open several breakout rooms at once, which I always get in trouble when I do this.
Your Honor, concerning Attorney Richardson's case, I hadn't heard anything. I'm handling this, and I didn't know if they expected to just set it for a prelim or if they wanted a discussion of some kind.
Dave, do you want to call me?
Yeah, we can. Is that how you want to handle it, Judge?
That's fine. You guys can talk on the phone.
And then we'll dial in when we're done.
Yes, that's fine. Ms. Kochevar is here.
I don't have your phone number, by the way.
I'm emailing you right now, Dave.
Okay.
All right. The rest of you are waiting patiently. I've been waiting for Mr. Johnson, who was otherwise occupied, and he's going to help us. Mr. Johnson, Mr. Kirkowicz has been here for some time, and he'd like to speak to you about his case. He talked to you before, and there was some close to resolution, but not quite. So I'm going to put you in a breakout room with him. Then I'm going to put Mr. Rosner in a room with Mr. Nossinger. Attempt. I can't seem to get the other rooms open. I'll have to wait while they finish. Mr. Richardson and Mr. Marvin are back. Mr. Bush has joined us. Ms. Halleck has joined us. And I have an email that I can't see because I only have one screen and I can't print it. So I have to flip back and forth. Mr. Marvin and Mr. Richardson, maybe they're on the phone, so we'll wait. Mr. Hauser, what's your client going to do?
At this point, Your Honor, we were interested in talking to the assistant prosecuting attorney who was on the case file, just to make sure that we had all of the discovery. We have received a pretty extensive police report. We're curious if there's anything else that was in existence that would be relevant. But no, yeah, we definitely reserve the right for a jury trial, and kind of interested in seeing where things stand.
So do you want a preliminary examination?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, well, let's figure that out. Mr. McNutt, can you hear me? I lost him. He was here. All right, so after discussing this with your client, he's charged with larceny, $1,000 or more, or malicious destruction of property. He wishes to have a preliminary examination next week.
Yes, that is correct, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to set prelim for next Tuesday, April 20th at 1 p.m. That will be before Judge Pattison because I won't be here. Thank you. Laura printed that email for me. That'll give me a little help. All right, Ms. Davis, anything else to add on that?
No, I have not spoken with him about the case, Your Honor.
All right, he wishes to have a prelim. They've had discovery, and we'll have a prelim next week. You guys can handle it while I'm otherwise occupied. All right, Mr. Hauser, you're good to go.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Let me close these breakout rooms so I can get reorganized here.
Your Honor.
Yes?
I just received an email from Amy Shepard from Kalamazoo County, who's the special prosecutor appointed for Brandon Crew that I have this morning.
Yes.
Should we maybe, I emailed her back, would it be acceptable?
She's here.
Okay, could we go into a breakout room?
Yes, we can, if I could get better situated. Mr. McNutt?
Yes.
Your attorney made a record here, and you're going to have a preliminary examination next Tuesday at 1 o'clock. So
right.
Contact your attorney. I will see you at that time, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ask, you could print this off and go sit with her and ask for the names of Scott's, and if you know that we're going to need a date of birth and
Melissa, you're not muted.
Oh, thanks, Debbie. Appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, now we're going to try this again. First of all, Luke needs to talk to Mr. Rosner, who's waiting patiently there at St. Louis. Ms. Halleck needs to talk to Prosecutor Shepard. Ms. Shepard, welcome to Centerville pre-exam day, where we've got all kinds of things going on at once. I'm going to try to create several breakout rooms. I'm going to assign Amy Shepard and Melissa Halleck to breakout room number 1. I'm going to assign Luke Knopfinger and Chris Rosner to breakout room number 2. Does anybody else need to talk privately? All right, everybody stay where they are. Mr. Rosner, you might have trouble. You need to hit the join button, and I'm not sure whether you can do that. You might need some help from a guard. You need to join the breakout room.
All right, hang on just a second.
All right. Casey, did you resolve Mr. Kirkowicz?
Yes, Your Honor. I offered to dismiss the driving misdemeanor, 21394, in exchange for an admission to the no proof of insurance ticket. He indicates that he will do so.
All right. Let me find his file here.
That's hit it? No, I didn't touch it. They needed you to join me in a breakout room. Yeah, that's just the mute button right there. I think there's a join button on there to put me in a thing with my lawyer. Oh. Could you step over here? Polycom room.
Luke, he's having trouble joining the room. He's got a guard in there trying to help him.
Okay, I'll go back in the breakout room. Thank you.
Schedule lock 71, control center.
I'm calling. They said that I have to have one of you guys hit the join button so I can go in there with my lawyer. I don't see a join button.
Oh. Does something come up on the screen at the prison there to say join?
St. Louis Correctional Facility is conducting a practice.
No, it's not showing them.
All right, let me try to move him to number 3. Does that show anything?
Oh, he's gone now, whatever you did.
I sent him into room number 3. I think we got it. All right, Mr. Kirkowicz, sorry, we had a lot going on here. You're gonna plead to what charge, Casey?
The no proof of insurance.
All right, so dismiss misdemeanor. Mr. Kirkowicz, no proof of insurance is a civil infraction. It's punishable by a $150 fine. It means you drove off without having a little slip in your car, which I've been known to do if I didn't get it in the car in time. Do you admit that on February 24th you were driving a car without the proper proof of insurance in it?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's a $150 fine. It's due by May 13th. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Are you still at the Marcellus address?
On M40? Yes, sir.
Yes. All right. We'll send you that. You send in the fine and you're good to go.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Schuler, his lawyer is Luke, who's in the breakout room. Now, I got the email after I got on the bench and Laura printed it. So we have a waiver on Mr. Schuler. We have a plea on Mr. Pritchard. We don't know about some of the other cases. Mr. Marvin, are you and Mr. Richardson done?
Yes.
What are we gonna do?
He's confirming with his client this is going to be a waiver. We're binding this over for further negotiations, and this office agrees.
All right.
Your Honor, I assume there were no other instant retrials?
No, well, there's one named Jeffrey somebody who's lurking around. I got an email from Matt. I told him I needed some more to do. Mr. Chapman is in custody, and we'll see him a little later this morning.
Okay. Well, all right. But I believe I will go if anybody needs me.
Yeah, you're done. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Casey.
Yep.
Okay.
Your Honor, there is a case set today. The last name is McNutt.
Yes. Mr. Hauser met with his client. I thought that you guys had talked. He said, we made a record while you were in the room with Kurt. He wants a prelim, and it's going to be set for prelim next Tuesday at 1.
Did that attorney plan on calling this office or having any contact whatsoever?
Well, I thought he had. He said he talked to the assistant prosecutor and they got discovery and he didn't have anything else to do. So
I'm not sure who he talked to because it was not me, and I don't think it was Casey since he was otherwise occupied. So I was confused by that.
I wish I could have been involved with him.
Well, you can give him a call, but you were in the other room and Debbie was here, so I wasn't clear what he had done, but he wants a prelim.
I guess I can look him up on the bar.
What?
You're saying prelims are next Tuesday? Are you on vacation next Tuesday?
No, Rob's doing.
Rob's doing? Okay.
We're having prelims next Tuesday.
Okay.
I believe that they're on his docket.
Okay.
Let me make sure. Yeah. Mr. Richardson, are you done? Luke is here. Luke?
Yes.
I believe Mr. Schuler is gonna waive his preliminary examination on the record here today.
Yes, and he has work at 10 o'clock. He's going to waive one of the files, and the other one is going to remain for a preliminary exam.
Well, I've only got one file. 546. Let me look. That's the only one that's set for today.
The other one was set for 420, I believe.
All right. Well, this one is a resisting and obstructing charge, assault with a dangerous weapon, and ethnic intimidation. Oh, darn it.
I think that's a mix match, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, just a minute. You got two files here, and I've only got one of them. 803 is R&O. Let me look here.
Yes, he's going to waive on the 2803 FY, the R&O and OWI.
You have no objection to that waiver?
That'd be good, except I don't have the file. There it is. All right. Mr. Schuler's like a cat on a griddle. I want to get him done. There are two files. 20546 alleges assault with a dangerous weapon and ethnic intimidation. He wants a preliminary examination in that case.
Yes.
I believe it's actually 21-546, Your Honor. The other is a 20.
Yes, 21546. For Judge Pattison. Set for April 20th at 1 p.m.
April 20th, 1 p.m., please.
In 202083FY. Laura, could I have a waiver bind over sheet on Brady Schuler in file 202803? Mr. Schuler.
Yes.
The allegation is that on or about June 28th of last year, you did resist and obstruct a police officer and operate while intoxicated.
Oh, never mind. They just opened it back.
No, we're not done yet. That's a felony punishable by up to 2 years imprisonment. The other charge is a misdemeanor, operating while intoxicated. Your attorney says you're going to waive preliminary examination in that case today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You have a right to have a preliminary examination where it must be established beyond probable cause that a crime was committed and that you did it. You also have the right to waive that preliminary examination. And the language says, I understand I have a right to a preliminary examination where I may be represented by an attorney. If I cannot afford one, a court attorney may be appointed to assist. I realize that I'm waiving this matter and having the matter bound over to the circuit court. Is that what you wish to do?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, that'll be bound over and the prosecutor has no objection. All right, you have a prelim next Tuesday at 1 on one charge, and you have a waiver, and the other one's going to be bound over to the circuit court, the one from last June. Mr. Schuler, are you still at the Franklin address in Sturgis?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
All right, now, here's a suggestion. How about you stay out of trouble till we get this stuff resolved?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm doing my best.
All right, you're good to go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Judge, I have a waiver.
Yes, just a moment. I got a lot going on here. We got the prison guy there sitting, waiting patiently. Miss Kochevar, would you take your turn your camera on, please?
I don't know how to do that. How do you turn the camera on? Is it a demon? No, I don't know. It should be on. If you just click on it, it should. I don't know why it doesn't come on.
You've got your camera turned off.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to do this.
Do you have a front-facing camera on your phone? If you don't, it might not give you that option.
I have my computer on.
Do you have a webcam on it?
Yes.
Okay, then you should have an icon in the bottom left-hand corner that looks like a little video camera.
Yes.
And if you click on that, it should give you the option to turn it on.
Well, now it's turned on, but she's black screen. So So we're getting closer.
Sorry.
Click on your video options and then choose like your webcam.
Video settings.
Yeah.
Okay. And then let's see. I don't know why it's not. Okay.
All right, well, you struggle with that. We'll discuss another case. Mr. Knopfinger, how did you do with Mr. Rosner?
Share screen.
Oh, very good. I'm going to file a motion under 780.133. He's set for preliminary exam next Tuesday, this coming Tuesday at 1 o'clock. My intent is to file that motion today so it can be set for hearing at 1 o'clock. It may dispose of the case. So at this point, we would ask it to remain on for preliminary exam.
Well, what's the hearing for?
It's a motion hearing under a 6-month. Mr. Rosner properly perfected his speedy trial as MDOC inmate.
All right, so there's a detainer issue here. How about if we just set it for the motion hearing?
Sure.
All right. Is 1 week long? I'm concerned that I won't be here and Judge Patterson's going to be just overwhelmed. Give me the court rule again.
It's MCL 780.133.
I was aware of a number of these cases. Before Mr. Marvin took office, there were a number of cases languishing from the prisons that the previous prosecutor just didn't deal with. And I was trying to get some of these cases through the system last summer and fall. Mr. Marvin, do you have a handle on the detainer issue in this particular case?
No, I'm going to have to see a motion with the attorney.
All right. I will set detainer motion for Judge Patterson for, well, I'll set it in front of me. For April 27th at 1 p.m. Gives you 2 weeks to file a motion and the prosecution to respond. All right, Mr. Rosner, you've been very patient. I've been aware that you've been there at the prison. You and I had met before earlier on some other things, and I was aware through the summer that you were there. And you're good to go. This matter is set for a motion hearing 2 weeks from today, which your lawyer hopes will be dispositive of the case. If it is, good. If it isn't, we'll have further action. Do you have any questions, sir?
No, sir. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for your patience. We were able to get through to the breakout room. That's kind of a funky room you're in, but I'll let you get on with your day. Let me close you out of here.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. Now, Carol is back. She still can't turn on her video.
She's going to try with her phone, Judge. Or I suppose we could.
If you could let me set the.
I suppose we could reschedule. I could bring her into the office.
We'll just bite the bullet. Let's see here. When I talked to you last time, Ms. Kochevar, I told you we were going to try to do this by video. Yeah, there we go. Very good.
Okay.
There are 2 files here. Laura, could I have the bindovers on both Kochevar matters? This is file 21468FY and 21472FY. In the first case, you're charged with embezzlement over $20,000 for St. Paul's Lutheran Church in Centerville last March or sometime in 2020. And file 21472, you're charged with embezzlement of $20,000 or more from a church in Colon. Two separate charges. Embezzlement $20,000 or more is a felony.
Yes.
Let me get back into where I need to be. I believe this particular version is punishable by up to 10 years imprisonment. Now, you were in and out of here, so I'm not sure if you heard me read the waiver of preliminary examination language. Let me read it to you. You have a right to have a preliminary examination, and they're prepared to put one on. You also have the right to waive it in each case. And here's what that says. I, Carol Kochevar, understand I have a right to employ an attorney. I may request a court-appointed attorney if I'm financially unable to employ one. I have a right to a preliminary examination where it must be shown that a crime was committed and probable cause exists to charge me with the crime. I voluntarily waive my right to a preliminary examination and understand that I will be bound over to the circuit court on the charges in the complaint and warrant. Is that what you wish to do?
Yes.
And Mr. Marvin, is he still here? Yes, the prosecutor consents to those waivers?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Kochevar, are you still at the Fairchild Road address?
Yes.
All right. You stay in contact with your attorney, Mr. Richardson. He's been all over this case. So they're working on continuing to reach some resolution. If they can do that, fine. It'll be in front of Judge Stutzman in the circuit court. If not, you're entitled to have a trial on either or both of these cases if you wish. Mr. Richardson, anything further we should put on the record here?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Marvin?
Nothing further.
All right, Ms. Kochevar, I'm going to let you go here. I'm going to release you from the room.
Okay.
All right, we got over that. Mr. Richardson, we'll see you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good rest of your week.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Now, Ms. Halleck, did I ever get you and Ms. Shepard into a room? I can't remember. I've been riding a bicycle and dribbling a basketball. Which case are we discussing?
Brandon.
He's in custody, is he not?
Yeah, but we're
What
going
do
to
we
set
do?
prelim because we're missing some
Oh, no,
evidence.
Mr. Crew is here with us. Yeah, I
Oh.
talked to him. All right, do you need to talk to him?
No.
All right.
And I'll let
What?
Amy, I'll let Miss Shepard, Attorney Shepard, address, I guess, the plan.
So at this point, we're going to leave it on for a preliminary examination. The whole case kind of hinges on a photograph that we are attempting, or I'm attempting to get some more information on. And I think once we receive that, I will reach out to Ms. Halleck and let her know, and it may end up resolving the case one way or another. But just to keep it moving, we thought that it would be best to leave it on for prelim at this point.
All right, well, the normal course of events, the prelim would be next Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Is that what we wish to have it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Laura, could I have some more ROA sheets? Mr. Crew, can you hear me?
On top of that, anything or just?
Yeah.
This is Judge Middleton. You and I have met before, and I've discussed this case with you. Your lawyer, Ms. Halleck, is here, and she's met with the prosecutor. We have a special prosecutor from Kalamazoo County because Mr. Marvin had some involvement in this, and now he's the elected prosecutor. So she got to experience our pre-exam conference morning here in St. Joe County. We're going to set this for what's called a preliminary examination next Tuesday afternoon at 1 o'clock. But it might not be exactly at 1 o'clock because everything is all set for the same time. So it's very important that you stay in contact with your lawyer, Ms. Hallett. You know how to get a hold of her?
I think I have her number. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you should. And Brandon, you can text that office number if you need to.
I don't have your number.
Okay.
But you can text my number if you have it.
Yeah, go ahead. Give me it.
616.
Okay.
828. 6005.
6005. 628.
616 828 6005.
Oh, got it. Okay, I'm going to call you in just a minute here. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
All right. Now, thank you all for being patient. Once upon a time, you'd been just sitting in a courtroom on a wooden bench. Now, even though it's tedious, you're sitting wherever you are while we go through case by case.
Mr. Kerr, you can hang up now.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, he was moving around too much. Vertigo.
Yeah, that's me. Okay, now, what we do know is Mr. Pritchard is going to plead to a misdemeanor. He's here. Mr. Salter is a plea. What's the plea offer in Pritchard?
He's going to be pleading no contest to an attempt at resisting or obstructing an officer. And I emailed you the police report earlier.
Okay, well, I've been here, so give me a minute. An attempt, no contest. And what about Mr. Salter?
Mr. Salter has 2 cases. He will be pleading to a misdemeanor of larceny under $200 with restitution. If there is any, we may need to reserve on that for Sturgis Hospital. And in exchange for dismissal of the larceny in a building. And in the other case file, 20-704, he'll be pleading to a use of meth and larceny under $200 with probation as part of the agreement.
And the home invasion is being dismissed?
Yes, and the larceny in the building.
All right, we'll come back to that. Mr. Pritchard, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Bush, who have you got this morning?
It's a little confusing. I may have Jason Hinn. I've been going, trying to help out Luke Knopfsinger. I can certainly take the meth case. I may have a conflict in the other case. I apologize. It's been kind of an awkward last week, but I'm trying to sort things out this morning.
What do you know about that, Luke?
Yeah, unfortunately, I've sort of really gone down the list. And yeah, Don did contact me and said that he does have a conflict. So I'm unsure what to do. If he can take one of the cases, that'd be great.
I can certainly take the meth file. I don't see any conflict there.
Okay. And I can do that. And I think I did draft a substitution of attorney. I think that there may only be one other attorney on the contract that doesn't have a conflict. I haven't even checked with that other attorney, but I can do that as soon as possible.
All right. Well, John, you can log off. We'll make a record with Mr. Hinn in a bit. He's in jail. If I need you, I'll send.
Can we reset him for a PEC next week, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. I'll go see him or talk to him at the jail then. Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Luke, you also represent Mr. David Kidd. And he had an issue with a misdemeanor case, and I just set the matter and left him here. So he's still with us also. But let's take our pleas here. We're still on our original login that says misdemeanor. I'm going to stop it for just a moment.